I'm Bruce.
Trial Tuesday once again. Today we were talking about marijuana laws in the Palmetto State. Attorney David Ayler here to clear the smoke when it comes to smoking pot in South Carolina. Counselor, thanks so much for being here. We do appreciate that as always. So let's talk about this a little bit. First of all, where it's legal and where it is not legal to smoke marijuana in the state of South Carolina, I assume that it's pretty much everywhere.
You're correct. It's pretty much everywhere. It is everywhere. It's not legal anywhere in the state of South Carolina. But one of the misnomers we often see at my office, and I know other attorneys see as well, is people may have a prescription for marijuana from their state, which actually has medical marijuana. They'll bring it here, show the prescription card. It is not recognized here in the state of South Carolina.
Really? So you have a prescription from California, let's say, Massachusetts, Colorado. You cannot smoke marijuana here in the Palmetto State.
Well, you're not supposed to.
Legally.
Well, you're not supposed to, exactly.
That's a smart
There's over
misnomer.
23 states that have the medical marijuana. Obviously, you have 2 states that have recreational use.
Yeah.
Still federally, it's completely illegal, although they don't really enforce it unless you're looking at large quantities crossing over the borders of the different states. That they do look at and definitely prosecute. But here in South Carolina, the only thing that is legal is there's a cannabis oil that's related to, that just got passed this past year related to epileptic seizures and things like that for treatment. But nothing else outside that for cataracts, anything else. It is 100% completely illegal, and they will ticket you.
So when you get stopped by the police and you say, I've got glaucoma, they're going to say, well, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
It's still illegal.
Absolutely. And, you know, whether that changes one day, you know, who knows? But as it stands now, that's where it is. And also, I think also important to mention is when people do have a marijuana situation in that they get stopped by police, you will see many times that they'll just write a citation, much like a traffic ticket. If you just go to court and pay that, that is still a drug conviction on your record. It's not just like paying a fine, you know, for a city ordinance or something like that. That is an actual drug conviction, and people don't realize that. They think, oh, I just paid the ticket off, but you actually have just got a misdemeanor drug conviction on your record.
So that's got to show up on your resume and any kind of background check.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where it causes a lot of issues. I'll have people come in, they'll say they have no convictions. Turns out they may have multiple tickets of marijuana where they consider it just to be a ticket. It's not just a ticket. You're lucky they didn't take you to jail. They could have. But if you pay that ticket or just go out there and, you know, get a time serve, if you did get taken to a jail, that is a drug conviction.
So if you get one of those tickets and then you pay it, is that automatically an admission of guilt?
It is, absolutely.
So be aware of that, of course. What about people that are trying to kind of beat the system? They say, oh, well, what if we get it shipped here? I'm not buying it. It's from another state. I get it shipped right to my door. You can still get busted for that just as easily.
And you're seeing a lot of that, obviously, with so many states that have the medical marijuana where it's grown legally for medical use, and then the 2 states that have it recreational. There's a surplus of marijuana throughout the United States compared to the way it was within the last 20 years. And so you do see it coming in from other states. And that is the point where you're going to see the federal government get involved, and you're going to have the FBI and DEA go down hard on people that are bringing it into the state.
Let's talk about a little bit when you do get stopped. If you do have some marijuana on your person, I assume you want to tell the police officer or whoever stopped you, the law enforcement official, that you do have it on it before they check it, because it's just going to make them more upset if they do find it on you and you lie to them.
Well, I don't know about that. You know, it really depends on the situation. Each person's situation is different. You have the right to remain silent if you feel like that's the best move. If you remain silent, that's not per se lying to a police officer. You may just not be divulging that information. However, within vehicles particularly, the standards of being able to search them are a lot less than what you would have if you were at your home or your office.
Well, what is that kind of that line right there? When can they search you? When can they search your vehicle? When can they go in their trunk? When can they go in your center console? When can they go in your glove compartment?
When they have probable cause. And oftentimes if they feel like that there may be marijuana or other types of drugs in the car, they'll bring out a dog. If the dog marks it at that point, they have the probable cause to go forward. It starts with a reasonable suspicion, perhaps the way a person's acting or what they allege it to be, sort of you know, odd or erratic behavior. And then if the dog comes out there and sniffs it, they're then going to go ahead and search that car without a warrant.
So really important to note here, while a lot of states are taking kind of a more liberal stance on this, South Carolina not one of them. If you got pot on your person or they suspect that you have it and find it on you, you might go to jail. You might at least pay that ticket, which again, as you said, is an admission of guilt.
Exactly right. Now we've changed the laws here in South Carolina. It used to be that your license was suspended. That no longer is the case related to marijuana, but you absolutely can be charged. And if it's larger quantities, you're talking about felonies, and they do still put people in prison, believe it or not, for marijuana.
There you go. And now you know, Attorney David Ayler, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thanks
appreciate it as always. Much more Lowcountry Live after the break, so stick around, everybody.
Trial Tuesday, brought to you by Attorney David Ayler.